Welcome to World of Monsters. I'm Monster Master Arthur. I hope you enjoyed the part 1 of All About the Chimera. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you click on that and check it out now. There'll be links located in the annotations on the screen, as well as in a link in the description and probably in the comment section below. Hope you enjoy the show. So be sure to explore different colors of your chimera, different patterns, along with different families and even orders of creatures, as we mentioned before. The chimera was said to be female. But why? Maybe a misperception of an asexual creature of this stature? So let's do some concepting of our own. How about the chimera being an asexual creature, having the ability to reproduce by itself? Or maybe some strange, multidimensional, spiritual creature that has a different way of reproduction. Or maybe the creature is basically so incredibly rare that only a female was ever found. But there are males and females out there in the wilds, but they're really, really hard to find. Since it was fire-breathing, maybe only the females breathe fire and the males don't? Or maybe they have other different features other than the breasts running down its torso? What are the differences between the male and the female with your chimeras? Think about that. If you indeed do have two sexes. Or maybe more sexes. It is a chimera after all. Add some wings? Why not? We see this in the D&D concept of the chimera. Wrath of Titans had a nice little concept of the chimera, which, well, did not look very traditional. One head was made to fuel, while the other one sparked the flaming breath into being. Really interesting with the lion goat heads and all that symbolism. Maybe the lion's head being symbolic of aggression and the will to live, and the goat's spark representing the start of life and the last spark before our deaths. Anatomy. Speaking of the science behind the fire-breathing ability, let me know what your ideas would be for explaining how the chimera creates such a high-temperatured breath. The lion head being carnivorous, the goat being herbivorous, the snake carnivorous. Are there 2 or 3 separate stomachs, or is the one stomach divided into 2 so it can actually digest these different types of food? Now we figure the lion probably eats. Maybe the goat head doesn't eat. Maybe it doesn't have an esophagus that leads to a stomach. Maybe it just creates sound. Maybe it just leads to the lungs, or a separate pair of lungs. How about the little snake tail? Does the snake feed? Or is it just an extra natural weapon or group of organs? Now, if it does eat, does the food go down into another separate stomach, or does it go to the same stomach as the lion's? How many brains? 2 brains? Does the snake have a brain, or does the snake have a very, very simple brain, even simpler than a regular snake, only having reflective abilities such as attacking, biting, and spitting? Maybe the snake is nocturnal and stays up all night, while the rest of the creature sleeps, being a sort of alarming system for the creature and watching out for it. Again, do both the lion's and the goat's head have a fully functioning brain? If so, do they agree always? Do they argue? Does this create better strategy on their part? The goat maybe being more stubborn and the lion being more of a strategist? Or the violent ferocity of both just fueling each other and making an even more devilish creature? Do they ever fight each other? Is the snake there to break them up? Maybe the snake is a simple moving decoy for other predators to focus on when they attack this creature, and then the rest of the chimera can then escape or counterattack the larger creature. Size. I would say from a goat to the size of, let's say, a small to medium dragon. The character of the creature being basically hot-tempered as the classic evil representation of it. As mentioned, the lion being the angry one and the goat being stubborn, creating a nice mix of chaos. Something to definitely think about. Classification. Animal, creature, hybrid, beast. Of a single phylum. Phylum being, for example, vertebrates and invertebrates, animals with bones and without. And various classes. Such as mammal, we have the reptile on there. What if we have fish or bird exchanged for parts of this hybrid? So an animal, creature, hybrid, beast of a single phylum or various classes. And that said, a hybrid of 3 or maybe more such creatures. And then symbolism. We have different polars of nature expressed by the chimera. In our history, we see it being representative of a bad omen, seasons, feminine or both feminine and masculine energy, complete evil, the devil, a demon, fertility of the land, which also coincides with the seasons, storms, which also connects with that, and weather, unpredictableness, mystery, and complexity. Alright, and for some more imaginative mental dancing, let's jump into the life of the Chimera. Chimera. Another thing to include in its symbolism, the power of 3. The sacred number 3. Alright, layer. What kind of environments does a chimera come from? Let's take a look into its ecology. Well, we can speculate that it comes from savannas, as that is the main biome of lions, not jungles. Lions aren't king of the jungle. Lions are the king of the savannas. King of the jungle might actually be a gorilla in our discovered world, if we're staying along the lines of Africa. Okay, the chimera. Semi-deserts, full-on deserts, jungles, possibly, if you've got the jaguar concept working on your chimera, or some other similar mythical creature that resides naturally in the jungles. So this part largely depends on what creatures you use to create your chimera. If you are using real animals indeed, do your research on them. Don't make the mistake of giving your chimera a cheetah body, living in the high mountains of the equivalent of Tibet, because that simply doesn't make sense, and people that know a thing or two about animals will spot out that mistake, and trust me, a lot of big directors, creators, producers, and artists out there do make mistakes like this, and you can see them quite often in movies. The society of the chimera, does it live alone? Does it live in a pride, such as lions do, a group of prides where you have a single male and some females? Or does it live in a herd, such as antelope, or smaller groups, such as goats do? Species survival. Does it create eggs? Wait, thinking of that snake back part. Does the chimera actually have a separate anus? What if the snake is part of the anus and all the excrement and or reproduction through the reptile snake part? Does it have cubs or does it have kids? Baby goats are called kids. Or will we call it a mix of both? Whereas it would be cub and kid together as kids with a K or kids with a C. And how many of these babies would it have? 1 to 5, I would say, easily makes sense. Food we already discussed, so if we're talking about prey, then probably any creature that it could tackle down and eat. And then for the herbivorous head, of course, greens and fruits and vegetables and such. Weaponry and armor ability, well, it has those large dangerous jaws from the lion, the sharp horns from the goat, and the fangs and venom of the snake, and the possible poison spitting ability. The fire breath, but is it just like a torch, or can it actually create fireballs and shoot them? Could it breathe fire on both heads, or out of all the heads? It has the natural armor of a fur coat or scaly coat, depending on which animal's skin you decide to go with for most of the creature. The male lion's mane, which is a nice natural coat of armor. Would a female chimera have that mane? Let's take a look at some pictures. Are there any pictures of ancient female chimeras with the male lion's mane going around the neck? How about magic? Isn't the creature completely made out of magic? Does magic run in its blood? Or does magic has nothing to do with the creature? It's completely of the mundane physical realm? Or maybe magic is inherent with its fiery breath? I would say if your chimera isn't a magical creature in and of itself, then I would just regard it as a simple hybrid beast. Unless it's intelligent and maybe it can speak and develop ways of doing spells and things like that. Strengths and weaknesses. Many as just mentioned, with the addition of having a speed to run away, if need be, to fly, possibly if it has wings, a strong roar to intimidate, excellent agility, the ability to climb and jump extremely well. How about weaknesses? Overly aggressive can definitely be a falling point, not being careful in its attacks, being an alpha species of its region, which encourages natural arrogance, a fear, dislike, or hatred of water because its fire-breathing ability, without having wings, having the weakness of being grounded. Overall faction of the chimera, basically it's predatory survival of the fittest. We could see it as being a lone creature in the world as it doesn't fit in anywhere, or only doing decently well with other chimera, and or living in small groups. Other creatures such as the manticore or griffin, even though similar in some ways, still have characteristical features that are quite different. Alright people, you have gone this far. We're going into the power level. That's right, the power level. 1 being a jumping spider. 5, a big troll. No, I mean the monster. No, No. No? What? Alright, there we go. And 10 simply just supreme beings. I would put a medium to large, unwinged, traditional chimera at a 4, giving a beefy, seasoned orc a good battle. Similar beasts, because the list of hybrid creatures is so long, we're only going to stick with hybrids of 3 creatures, no less, no more, mammalian in nature, and mostly mammalian in nature, and quadruped, having 4 legs, no more, no less. By the way, if there's a video already out on one of these monsters and you want to check it out, I'll be sure to add an annotation as I say its name. So if you're on a computer and you see a monster that you want to learn more about, then simply click on the screen to go to that video. Emmet, Jackalope, Sharebha, Simurg, Manticore, Winged Sphinx, Pausleen from Legacy of the Aldenata, Lamasu/Shidu, Yue. Though it's a hybrid of more than 3, it's still very similar with the feline body and the snake forepart as a tail. Skvader. And our final section, the chimera in pop culture. We can see it on TV in Yu-Gi-Oh!, American Dragon, Jake Long, Godzilla Power Hour, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and in movies such as Wrath of Titans, 2012, Pegasus vs. Chimera 2012, and of course you can see the Chimera in many games out there, including, but not limited to, D&D with having wings, which takes us back to the whole history line of where the origin of the Chimera may truly be. So it seems once again the creators and researchers at D&D may have really done their homework. And who else has really done his homework? AJ Pickett. So to learn further about the Chimera from D&D, do go and check out his channel right now, AJ Pickett, the YouTube channel, where he discusses all sorts of crazy monsters and he goes very in depth and offers great ideas there as well. Thank you, AJ. Thank you everyone for watching. Please remember, especially if this is your first time watching, to like down below, subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Do check out our Facebook page where I talk about more monsters, create polls and different things. And please do let me know what creature you would like to learn more about next. And as always, I really invite you to our channel main page because that's where you can easily see our video layout in different series and our always up-to-date channel banner that expresses what we're looking forward to and what videos will be coming out next on the channel. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Make it a great day or night wherever you are. This has been Monster Master Arthur.